What's good, everybody? This is Chris Crazy House, and I'd like to welcome you all to another Chris Crazy commentary. And I want to talk a little bit about this article that I found online talking about the new series that's going to be on Netflix, Masters of the Universe Revolutions. And basically, the showrunners are out here doing some serious splaining and trying their best to get people to come back and watch this new series after the disaster that was the old series, Masters of the Universe. What was it called? Revelations. So I want to talk about that here. And so let me just start from the beginning. Okay, now it was one of the bigger videos on this channel, but you can go back and look at it and see what I had to say about the original series, because I actually watched it, Masters of the Universe Revelations, and I was not a fan of it at all. And it's sad and very disappointing in the fact that I was one of those people who was very much looking forward to this series. So I'll say this, I actually know two people who worked on like the actual animation production and the character designs for this new version of Masters of the Universe. Okay, so like I was looking forward to it in that way, just to kind of support people that I knew and that I'd worked with before in the industry. And I remember very vividly, I'm not going to say their names, but I remember one of the guys that did some of the character designs for this new show. I remember him showing them on, I think it was at a convention or something like that. This was like pre-pandemic, and I remember like saying like, man, this is perfect for you because you have that style. Like I knew his art style was perfect, and he had done like some illustrations of Masters of the Universe characters before, like Beastman and Faker and stuff like that. I was like, damn, you got the perfect style for this show, so I'm glad they picked you, right? And so I was, like I said, looking forward to seeing what they were going to do with this new series. And I remember sitting and watching it, and they pulled the whole getting rid of the hero, the male hero in the series, and basically it stopped being Masters of the Universe and basically became Teela and the Bitter Broads of Eternia, which is what I call the show, because that's exactly what it was. You had basically He-Man kicked to the side, and you have Teela going on adventures with herself and a bunch of other bitter females in the the Eternia Masters of the Universe IP. And I just didn't like it at all. And it wasn't even good writing. Like I can accept having maybe a focus put on different characters instead of like the main character, but it better be good. You know what I'm saying? Like it can't be just trash, or like they wasted a lot of time. Like they did 5 whole episodes where He-Man only appears in flashbacks, and how they got you to watch the show was they took those flashback scenes and they put that in the trailer, so that made people think that they were watching basically a new He-Man show, but they've taken He-Man out of it. And even the second part of Revelations was not good, where they, basically had Incredible Hulk, He-Man, and, Skeletor becomes a god, and then he, through the power of horniness, he loses that godlike power to Evil Lyn. It's just silliness, right? So the stuff wasn't even good that they came up with. Like, so if you're going to have this IP that you're radically changing and you're doing different types of stories, at least have your different story be good. The stuff that they were coming up with wasn't even good. It was ridiculous. So now they're coming out with another series that's based within the same little universe here, called Masters of the Universe Revolutions, and I think it's focusing more on Hordak and the Horde coming back to invade Eternia, and we're getting to see He-Man or Prince Adam kind of trying to decide what he wants to do. Does he want to keep on being He-Man, or does he want to, actually be the king of Eternia and take over where his father left off at, as far as being the ruler of the kingdom? So that's what we're looking at now in this new series, and a lot of people have already decided that they're not going to watch it. Like, I've seen several comments underneath the actual video trailer where people are saying, like, I'm not going to watch this version. You got me the first time. Kevin Smith and Ted Biaselli, these are the two showrunners of the show. They got them last time with that Revelations and the bait and switch. So a lot of people are just saying, like, they're not going to watch this new series at all. They're not even going to waste their time with it. So now it's come out that both Ted Biaselli and Kevin Smith are trying to their best to get people to come back and watch this new show. And they're kind of making little, not really a sincere apology, but little mea culpas about the first series, and saying that it wasn't their intention to upset the fan base. So it's not like they're not really saying they're sorry, but they're saying, if you took it that way, I'm sorry. That's how they're kind of putting it there. And if you are one of those people who didn't like the first series, they're kind of begging you to come back to the new one. And a lot of the numbers for the trailer viewing for this new series are very low. People aren't anticipating this one the way they were the very first one. Like, I remember when the first trailer was released for Revelations, people were on it. It was shown everywhere. I remember people posting it and reposting it, and there's a lot of hype behind it. A lot of people were very much looking forward to the return of Masters of the Universe, something that they loved, right? And when they finally watched it, it wasn't anything like what they expected. And so a lot of people just decided to turn their backs on it and say, you know what, I'm not going to bother with this second series. I've seen enough. and I don't blame them. See, that's the thing. Like, I really can't get mad at people for not wanting to give this new series a chance, or just being apathetic about it at the very most, right? Like, just saying, you know what, this new series is not for me. You did something completely different that I didn't like. Let me just go watch something else. I can understand that. I can very much understand that. And if that's the way people feel, I'm not mad at them for that. And the people that created that first series, they got to take responsibility for that, for what they did. You don't need to. If they had just been a little bit more open as far as like their marketing of this new series, then it might have been. They might not have gotten the backlash that they got. But they did a lot of pushback when people revealed that He-Man was not going to be on this show. And, they basically attacked certain, content creators and stuff like that. So that all added to the drama behind the fall off of that original Revelation series. So a lot of people don't even want to give this new one a chance. And once again, I don't blame them. Okay? And to be totally honest, I don't know if I'm going to watch it either. I might maybe watch it in passing. Maybe if I had nothing better to do. Maybe if I'm, cleaning up or folding laundry, maybe I'll put on the first episode and see how it is. And it's a shame because artistically, it's a very well done show. Once again, like I said, I know people who worked on it. I know animators and character designers who worked on it. They do an amazing job. And, even watching the show aesthetically, the animation looks amazing, right? But just overall, story-wise, a lot of the story points and plot points are just dumb. They're not even logical within the universe that they've set up. So I don't know why they would be upset if someone didn't want to continue having to watch this. You know what I'm saying? So, if you folks decide to go watch it, you can let me know here what you think about it, and if you think if it's worth watching, if you think it's worth investing your time into going back and looking at this. But they kind of screwed themselves with that first series when they decided to take He-Man out of it and just keep this, whatever, like I said, the Bitter Broads of Eternia, and make it that series. If that's the series you want to make, you should have just said that, instead of saying that this is going to be a new He-Man series, because it most definitely wasn't. Okay, so you folks, and I'll post a link to the article where they're kind of begging people to come back, singing "The Baby Come Back" on their knees and whatnot. But it's almost kind of like a lover who's cheated on you several times already and who has screwed you over, and they're still begging for you to come back to them. It's like, well, you kind of screwed me over already. Why would I want to come back to you? No matter how much you beg, I think I'm done. I think I'm good over here, right? And I've kind of become, you know, a lot more comfortable just being over here by myself, not having to deal with the drama that you bring. So that's kind of like where a lot of the fans are at this point. But if you decide to watch it, you let me know what you think of it, and let me know if you think it's even worth wasting time watching it. So you can let me know that here if you're a Masters of the Universe fan. Anyway, folks, this is Chris Crazy House, and I'll be signing out. Make sure you go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Chris Crazy commentary, as well as art and review videos on my channel. Anyway, Chris Crazy House signing out. Peace.